Excerpts from The Woodcutter's Tale, A Poor Woodcutter. In isolation, the text is almost entirely empty. Despite this brevity, your brain immediately begins filling in the gaps. You imagine a dense, dark forest, a nearby rural village, and a lurking, unseen threat without any explicit instruction to do so. A storyteller could choose any profession for a protagonist, a struggling merchant or a hungry baker. Yet this exact combination of character and class has become the universal default for global folklore. This opening phrase is more than a simple introduction. It functions as a piece of narrative mechanics refined over centuries of oral storytelling. By combining three specific words, a poor woodcutter, the author establishes a character with an urgent motive and a dangerous location. This specific combination skips the typical setup and moves directly into the rising action. Understanding the mechanics of this single fragment reveals how the structure of global folklore actually works. To understand the story's engine, we start with poor. In medieval society, this isn't a vague status, it's a constant threat to survival. This modifier indicates absolute economic desperation. The character is not just low on the social ladder, they are likely one bad harvest away from starvation. That state of desperation creates vulnerability. A person who is genuinely hungry is forced to take risks and entertain dangerous bargains that a person with a full pantry would simply ignore. Poverty is the internal pressure that ultimately forces the protagonist out of their home and into the unknown. Next, we look at the noun, woodcutter. This profession places the character on the extreme geographic edge of society. This schematic shows liminality. On one side, safe civilization. On the other, the chaotic, magical unknown. The woodcutter lives exactly on this dividing line. To survive, they must repeatedly cross this boundary, leaving the village to enter the deep forest every single day. They also carry an axe. This tool is a requirement for their manual labor, but it also means the protagonist is constantly armed, possessing a capacity for violence that other peasants lack. Because the profession demands proximity to the forest edge, the woodcutter becomes the most likely candidate for the unknown to bleed into the mundane world. This graph illustrates the intersection of these forces. As economic desperation rises, the woodcutter travels further into the woods, creating a collision point. The deeper they go, the higher the probability of encountering something strange. The story is caused by environmental pressure, not bad luck. Meeting a witch, a talking animal, or a devil in the woods is the natural consequence of being forced past the safe boundaries of the village. The phrase, a poor woodcutter, functions as a narrative engine. When you place a desperate person on the edge of the unknown, a collision with the supernatural is the logical conclusion. Variations of this exact character type appear in the storytelling of cultures all over the world. This structure endures because it provides a shared set of expectations. It gives the audience immediate context for the protagonist's motives and their current situation without needing a lengthy introduction. Using these established character roles allows writers to bypass extensive world-building. In 7 words, the audience understands the stakes and is ready for the arrival of the magical elements. These stories remain effective because their fantastical elements, the curses and the monsters, are anchored to a relatable human vulnerability. The most enduring tales in human history maintain their power because they always begin with the most grounded, mundane struggles for survival.